welcome. I have a question for you. Are you living full on, all the way in with your life? Are you 100% taking advantage of all the opportunities, all of the life force that you've been given, all of the appreciation for what's available to you right now? Most of us would say, no, me too. Do I let days go by where I'm only partially all in? And when we have negative thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Is my hair okay? Do I belong to this group? Do you know all the mental stuff? Um, uh, they said it better. Nobody answered me. La la, you know how it goes. How's my weight today? If my weight's good, maybe I'm better, worth more, blah, blah, blah. You know, all the mental stuff. Doesn't matter if yours sounds worse or better than mine or somebody else's. We're all in our heads, right? A lot of the time. And what I'm discovering has to do with this conversation that I had with a friend. After my human design chart got done, and I shared that with you a few weeks ago, I was kind of reeling from how much a stranger, people I didn't know, two people, and a written report about how much power is in my design. And how much am I using that power in my life force? And I was telling my friend who's about my age, they discovered so much power, and I really want to be living from that power. And then I started explaining to her why power wasn't a good word, why power was a good word, not a bad word, because she was kind of like, oh, you're getting into power. The power that women often think of as power over someone, power has gotten a bad rap, right? We associate it with people or politicians or billionaires who are powerful and just keep taking more and feel entitled to more. And so it's almost as though we've as women, and not all of us, but if you see it on a continuum, there are a lot of women who are in my age group, and let's say older than 50, maybe older than 60, who've grown up that at least the veneer, at least the personality should be humble. And I've talked about this psychologically with my groups and with my people, but today I'm coming to you from the position of what's going to happen to you, because your clock is ticking, my clock is ticking. What's going to happen if we continue to shy away from power? And I know I've spent the last 3 years, the year before my book was published and several years after, with younger people who do mindset work. And younger people than 50 or 60 use the word power. Women use that word power, but they have to do mindset work every day, because as the day goes on, or when the day starts, they feel disempowered. So that group, even though they're easier with this language, I think if you grew up in this world, and particularly if you're a woman, we need to make a certain kind of rapprochement is the French word. It's in the English dictionary. It means more than acceptance. It means more than like a peace treaty. It means incorporate power. And this is a very old saying from Cicero again, from before BC. And there's a wonderful new book that my friend Annie gave me that's called Elderhood. And I came across Mr. Cicero again. And he said, old age will only be respected if it fights for itself, maintains its rights, asserts control over its own to its last breath. So let's pull that apart. And why do we all need it? Because of what's going on in the world. We've accepted just passively, even if we don't like it, that there's no women's rights amendment. It can't be passed through Congress, hasn't been so far. What is that about? Equal pay. Somehow we're waiting for it to be given to us. And this is not about ranking on men, but men are in power. And right now, they are taking away rights from the elderly, rights from the poor, rights from all kinds of groups who are not in the majority. This is not so much a political statement, although it is. This is about shifting the beliefs in ourselves, and we might as well take on our power toward our attitudes. So I want to tell you a quick little story. Let's say my friend tells me, and this is true, that on this street, 92nd Street, where I live, near where I live, the police are out and they're stopping people. And if you do a California stop rather than a full stop, you will get a ticket. Now, maybe I'm used to stopping gradually and not in a full stop because I've decided nobody's going to give me a ticket. If she tells me I'm going to get a ticket, tomorrow I am going to do a full stop tomorrow, right away. It's not going to take a process. It's not going, I will find a decision. I'm doing a full stop, and maybe I'll do a full stop everywhere that there's a stop sign from now on. It's that easy to change our minds when we want to. But when we're in the unconscious repetition, and all we have to notice is that we have a propensity, a leaning, a habit of disempowering ourselves and feeling unworthy. And I'll tell you why the two are linked and why they're important for aging. Because remember, if you're younger, you aren't doing this for me and the older people. You're going to get there too. And when we say to a person who looks like me, and I get this a lot, and maybe you do too, oh, you look so good when they find out my age. They used to say, for your age. They have actually dropped that now. And it doesn't feel like a compliment because it is a compliment. And I do know I look good, especially with these lights that don't show all the lines. but I know I look good for my age. And so I understand what everybody understands, and that's that old age doesn't look good. Matter of fact, we think of old with decrepit. Those two words go together. I'm not here to say love your wrinkles. That's a different conversation, and I'm not sure I'd say that, right? But I do want to tell you something about the decision. So let's go back to that quote. I don't agree with fighting because I think there's something more powerful than fighting, and it's going toward. If we use the driving metaphor, yes, I'm stopping the old behavior, which was to drive through with a California stop. I'm committed because I don't want the results of a chicken. Now, he says that people need, no, he says old age will only be respected if it fights for itself. So we cannot wait for age to be respected by someone else. We have to do the respecting right now with a decision. This is not about coming to a process with your belief system and your parents and how you were treated. We don't have time for that. If we want to make a difference in what's happening politically or what's happening to groups of people, we need to, all of us, embrace the word powerful. It's not about what we've done to achieve and enjoy and deserve power. It's not about that. It's about our power comes from our birthright. It comes from the fact that we are born. And some people whose, let's say you say, well, your human design chart shows it was all filled in, so you have power accessible. But if you're a person who feels on the other end of the continuum from fully being powerful, like you're pointing the finger and saying, you, Rosalind, you've got it. Well, I do know I'm strong, but I too wasn't really ready to call myself powerful or even want to be. I was ashamed in a way. I was explaining away, defending to my friend that I didn't mean power over. Do you know what? You got it. You got it. I know you got it. So we need to change, and we don't have time. We need to make that decision that we will stand for respect. And how do we do that? Well, we need to start. There is no substitute. We can't wait till we feel power. No, it's not going to come that way. It's going to come after we decide. Remember in that stopping because of the police, now I'm going to make it a habit stopping regularly. And it's not going to be that hard if I'm conscious and if I've made that decision. If I'm only going to do it for the police and look around and see if there are any police, I'm not going to get the real benefits in the metaphor. So it's an inside job first. Remember that chapter I wrote, and we'll put it in the email about belonging. We think that belonging is given to us. No, it's our birthright, but we have to take it. So if we start with, no, I don't belong until you show me, until you invite me. No, no, no. And so I was in a new group of very powerful women And I know the social cues. Usually, if the people know each other, it's best to be demure. It's best to hold back. It's best not to say too much. That's the safest route to being accepted, quote unquote. Maybe you know other rules, but that's the one I've known or grew up with. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I said, I'm going to use the wisdom card. And I talked to someone as though she was my beloved granddaughter. And we can respect ourselves, respect our positions as older people. And if you're younger and you're listening to this, and you have an older person with you, first of all, don't say you look good for your age. It's like you're cementing in old age is ugly. But I bet you're not doing that anymore. Maybe not after hearing this. But is there a way that you can do the stop sign in your life right now and defer to an older person and say, you know, you have lived longer. What do you think about this? I know so many women, at least in middle age, that wish they were listened to more, that wish they were respected more. But do they respect and listen to themselves? No. Or what do you think? Do they? So, what if we just start? We need to do this for ourselves, for the next generation, and for each other, because we can make a tipping point. We can change the view of aging, and aging and death are inextricably involved and confluenced and mixed up, because if you're not having a different kind of elder year, it's not going to be that much fun to live. And I don't know if you'll dread dying more. And we're going to have a discussion coming up about dread and dying. So keep tuning in, and please tell me, are you ready to assume, declare, live from your true power, your birthright, not power over anyone, just your aliveness, your right to be here, no matter how you were treated by your parents and society and your grandchildren or your sister, your brother, or your, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were insulted today. And this is not the arrogance of I deserve and you don't. That's what the billionaires are doing in our country right now. But if we're coming from I'm the one and you're the one and we're the one, we can make changes right now. But we can't do it if we're disempowered. So will you write to me one word if you're joining this mission, even if you're doing it for the younger generation? Do it for whatever your reason is, but please join me with empowerment. So write one word in your wherever you're watching this, write to me in the chat or the return email and say empowered. Bye for now.